Well, that didn't work out. Oh well, not every baking or cooking exercise turns out the way you want it to, I guess, right? I thought I was going to record this bit nicely snacking on some of those cinnamon sugared almonds, but no go this time. I have been very slowly taking down some of the holiday decorations. I've been having a bit of a tough time with it this year. I think one of the reasons was because of how disconcerting I found the winter weather. During most of the Christmas season, there was no snow where I was, and it was abnormally mild, which was just a reminder of how our world is changing and the winters. And I really found a sense of melancholy setting in because of the distress that I was feeling around this. And then I decided to try and perk myself up, focus on 12th night that was coming up, and for that I made my honey bunny join me in wassailing our blackberry bush that's in the backyard. It's a very small, just beginner blackberry bush, but it was really lovely, and it did help to lift my spirits up a bit, and a way of just bringing your awareness again to how the earth is trying to adapt and maybe move with the seasons, or at least that's how I was trying to think at that time. Sorry, I had to pause to grab some tea. See, as you can see, I still have what some would probably consider more of a Christmas time mug, but I'm just going to embrace it more as a wintertime mug. So I went on to honor the Epiphany by chalking the door, and my honey bunny also joined me in that. And I wanted to bake an Epiphany cake, but I wasn't really interested so much in the traditional Epiphany cakes that can be made. Just didn't sound like a recipe I might enjoy as much. And I have a lot of honey, so I decided to make a honey cake for Epiphany. And I tried to make it look like a little crown on the top of the cake. I don't think that turned out didn't look quite right, but the cake is really good, really delicious, and my honey bunny and I have both been enjoying it. So definitely, when you want a nice little simple sweet treat, you might want to try making a honey cake. So on Epiphany, I made the honey cake, and then we had the honey cake as a dessert. And as I mentioned at the top of the video, I had been feeling a real sense of melancholy due to just how odd the weather had been. And then a gift truly happened on that night of Epiphany, which was it began to snow. And I couldn't help but reflect on how incredible it was that on this night, that is the last night of the Christmas season, and on this night where, it's about reflecting on the 3 gifts that the 3 wise men had brought, we were granted this gift of some snow. And so we went for a walk and really tried to take in the beauty of that winter evening. So I've been shifting the mantle over to more of just a general winter sort of celebration. And I have my cute little celebratory robin that I got for Christmas on the mantle right now, and nutmeg is there. And then I have some books on display that are what I consider really good winter reading. So I thought I might share some of the books you may want to check out if you want to really tap into a wintry vibe during this January season. So first up, if you are looking for something that is more on the short side, perhaps you could even just read while cozied up during a weekend or just a couple of days, you may want to check out the book Snow Country. And this is the Penguin cloth-bound edition. This book has a very melancholy tone to it. It is a book that takes place in an area of Japan that is known for its snow and its hot spring, and that's the setting of the story that takes place, a sad love story. If you, again, are looking to sort of tap into that sad, desolate feeling that can take place during winter, this may be one that you'll want to check out. It is considered a classic of Japanese literature. I should just say that when I'm sharing these book recommendations, I like to be a little more vague on the actual plot and story, because I do believe that it is a delight for a reader to be able to have the plot, the story, the characters unveil themselves to you as you are reading. So I'm attempt to more give you just a little glimpse of what you may get from the book or the feeling that it may provide as the recommendations. So I just thought I should say that in case you are looking for something that's more in depth on the plot. Next up is Tove Jansson, who's best known for The Moomins, and this is a nice Moomin book called Moonland Midwinter, which is one that you could definitely read like going up to the Christmas season, but I really enjoy it because it's just so celebratory, to me at least, of winter and the mysteries of winter and what can happen in winter. And there, of course, are delightful illustrations within it of the Moomins. So if you like the Moomins and you like winter, you'll definitely want to check this one out. Just the very basic plot of it is that it begins with Moomin Troll awakening during winter, because usually Moomins hibernate, but Moomin Troll wakes up early to a landscape that he's not really used to. Next up is a book that I actually read during the beginning of last year and during the winter, and it is The Last Quarter of the Moon. And this edition is put out by Vintage Books, and it was part of their Vintage Earth collection. You know, I actually picked it up because I just was entranced by the cover and the featuring of the reindeer on it. And the book itself has the protagonist looking back on their life and sharing the story of their life. And they live in an area of China where they were part of a tribe of people who herded and looked after reindeer. And the book tells the story of her life, so you see how their way of life shifts and change and adapts to what happens in the world around them. It's a really lovely book, and once I picked it up, I could barely put it down. So even though it's a bit longer than, say, if you're looking for a short read like Snow Country, it's one of those books that once you read those first few pages, you just enter into this other world and this other time, and you'll just want to linger there and get to know the people within it and their way of life, and of course, the reindeer. So I have another Tove Jansson book to share to get into feeling winter while you're reading, and that is The True Deceiver, which is a novel and that's written more for an adult audience. It is just so good. This really wonderful character study, and the book itself, it starts in winter, and a lot of it is about what may be hiding under the surface of things, and the book sort of goes through winter, and as we enter into spring, perhaps some things begin to be unveiled as the snow melts. And it's one of those books where you think you understand a character, but then it starts to subtly shift, and then you have to kind of change all your perceptions as you go. Really expertly paced, written, loved this book. Loved it. So definitely recommend. The next two books are both non-fiction books about animals. First up, I have the book The Reign of Wolf 21. And again, the book doesn't all take place in winter, but when I think back to reading the book, I often can picture the wolves during the winter. And the book is written by a man who works in Yellowstone Park and studies the wolf packs. And this is the specific story of the pack that was named the Druid Pack, and its remarkable leader of the Druid Pack, and how this wolf was different in how it approached leading its pack and the different wolves within the pack. And you'll learn a lot about wolf, the way that wolves survive and live, and the really sort of the politics between different wolf tribes or packs. It's really fascinating. I really enjoyed it. I just fell in love with two of the wolves that were in this book, and I myself just fell into tears at the end of the book. So if you're interested in learning about animals in Yellowstone Park, or following animals throughout the seasons and their life cycle, or of course wolves, then you definitely may want to check out that book. And the other book I have that I would recommend is Owls of the Eastern Ice, A Quest to Find and Save the World's Largest Owl. And the title pretty much covers what it's about. It's about a man who researches owls, and he goes to Russia to study the habitat of the specific owl. And it's all about tracking and learning about the owl. But as you can imagine, a lot of it is taking place in a very brutal landscape. The weather can really wear a person out and other animals out. So you get a taste of the danger that winter can provide, but also, of course, part of the story is trying to look at how to protect these beautiful owls in the wild. And lastly, just want to share a recommendation for the book The Willows in Winter. And it again is written by William Horwood, who wrote the Christmas Wind in the Willows book. So what this author did is take the characters from the original Wind in the Willows and wrote a few more books to expand their world. And this one is all about the characters from Wind in the Willows during the winter season, and what they have to struggle with, and the adventures that happen with them. And it is such a delight. I really enjoy it, just like I enjoyed the Wind in the Willows Christmas book. So I would definitely recommend this for just a cozy, adventurous read. And if you enjoy the characters of Mole and Rat and Badger and Mr. Toad, then you will delight in this one as well. After my failed attempt at the cinnamon almonds, I decided to go for an easy win. And now it is time for some popcorn. Thanks so much for spending some time with the Homedoby Witch. Bye!